How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my 1/400 scale Chicago O'Hare series. This time I've got update 11 for you guys, which takes us back to Terminal 5, O'Hare's International Terminal. Some of these models I've had for a while, others are brand new, and some have just been waiting for the right time to be introduced. All in all, it's a pretty unique update with a long line of international carriers. So anyways, let's get into it. First up, here on the rightmost ramp is this Air France Airbus A350-900, which at the moment is being prepped by a cleaning crew for its return flight after coming in from Paris Charles de Gaulle. After that is the newest model in this update, and one that wasn't very easy to find, but was well worth the effort. That is this Icelandair Boeing 737 MAX 9 in the magenta livery. As a part of Icelandair's fleet renewal process, they've given each of their 737 aircraft unique and colorful liveries, along with individual names. This specific aircraft, Tango Foxtrot India Charlie Delta, carries the name Baula, named after one of Iceland's landmarks, a large mountain with a reddish-orange color due to its rich mineral composition. I'm definitely a fan of Icelandair's new liveries, and I think that they're a major upgrade and stand out in a long line of aircraft like this one. Anyways, this exotic Icelandair 737 MAX 9 is loading its baggage as well as being fueled as it gets ready to head out to Reykjavik Keflavik Airport in Iceland. Up next is a long-awaited addition to my Chicago series, and probably one of the most high-quality models I own, which is this Aviation 400 All Nippon Airways Boeing 777-300ER. I got this one well over a year ago, but I wanted to introduce it in an update with most of Chicago's Asian carriers alongside it. This simple yet beautiful aircraft came in from Tokyo's Narita Airport about an hour ago, and now it's waiting for some ground traffic to pass before it pushes back and gets ferried over to Terminal 1, where it will get ready to head back to Tokyo. Following that is a model that hasn't been showcased in a little while. Okay, maybe a lot while, which is this Etihad Airways Airbus A350-1000. I really like Etihad's livery, which will apparently be making double the amount of appearances here at Chicago, given the airline's recent addition of a second daily flight from their base in Abu Dhabi. I think Etihad remains the only operator of the A350-1000 at O'Hare, so it's cool to see them expanding their operations. Anyways, this Etihad A350K is currently loading up on cargo and is also being catered for its outbound return flight to Abu Dhabi. After that is yet another new addition to my collection, this one also being a 777. Right now, this Qatar Airways 777-300ER is having all its bulk cargo unloaded following its arrival from Doha. I've been trying to get a Qatar 777 since before I even started YouTube, specifically their 777-300ER in the 2022 FIFA World Cup livery, which I actually saw once when I still lived in Chicago. Back then, I was not the best photographer by any means, so this is the only picture I have of it. Since that livery obviously got repainted, I settled for a normal livery Qatar 777, which took about another 2 years for someone to release. I think Qatar's livery is definitely one of those paint schemes that retains a simple yet elegant feel to it, especially since it follows that classic 60-40-10 color rule, which I think pairs nicely with my red GSE. Next up is this United 787-8 in the Evo Blue livery. This model is probably one of my most well-traveled ones I own, given that I flew it across the ocean with me just to unbox it on the plane during my return flight, which was on a United 787-8. I released that video as my 1000 sub special, so if you're interested in seeing the most unique unboxing on YouTube, I'll leave a link to it in the description. Back to the present, this aircraft is currently being pushed back, bound for Terminal 1, after coming in from Amsterdam, which is the flight I took this model on last summer. And as the only commercial quadjet in this update, this Lufthansa Airbus A340-300 is getting lots of attention as the cleaning crew prepares the cabin for passengers, as baggage is being unloaded, and as the cargo lifter lines up to load the aircraft for its upcoming return flight to Frankfurt's am Main Flughafen. Following that, this Delta Boeing 737-900ER is unloading some narrow-body cargo containers following its arrival from Atlanta. I originally had plans for this route to be conducted on the 757-300, but sadly that model's nose gear broke as I was setting it up. I drowned the broken piece in super glue, tried to put it back on and let it dry a bit, so hopefully the model will make a full recovery. Otherwise, I'll have to get creative with it next time I put it in a video. Moving on to Taxiway Victor, we have what I can only say was a last-minute addition to the update, but also a very important one. At the moment, this Spirit Airlines Airbus A320-200CO is taxiing east to runway 28 right, where for the final time, it will depart Chicago, bound for Fort Lauderdale. Next in line for departures is this United Airlines Airbus A321neo, which is also on its way to 28 right, where it will embark on its roughly 2.5-hour journey to Houston's George Bush Airport. And as the final aircraft for Update 11 of my Chicago O'Hare series, we have an aircraft that hasn't been showcased in quite some time, which is this Western Global Airlines Boeing 747-400BC freighter. Right now, this aircraft is number 1 for departure off runway 28 right, bound for Anchorage. Anyways, that's going to wrap up update 11 of my Chicago O'Hare series. Before I end it all the way, I wanted to clarify that my Lego Terminal 1 Concourse Charlie project that I announced in my last Frankfurt update is well underway. Given the results of the poll on my channel, the majority of you have elected the next Chicago update to be of me actually building the terminal from Lego and showing you all how I go about doing that. I wasn't able to make that video for this update given the time constraints I had, some pieces that I'm still waiting for, and the fact that I'm probably on a trip right now as this is a scheduled video. Nonetheless, my Concourse Charlie project and the full video covering it will make its appearance as the following Chicago O'Hare Model Airport update, so you might want to subscribe so you don't miss out when that publishes. As always, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, fly safe.